Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support and let's get into it. So this past weekend I went and saw Transformers Rise of the Beast and you know what? It was solid. It was just like kind of your standard summer blockbuster. I'm going to elaborate on my thoughts, my specific thoughts about the movie, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. And I am going to issue a spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen the movie. If you haven't, then and you don't want to be spoiled, just save this video and you'll watch it later and come back after you watched it. With all that being said, we're going to jump into the actual content. So I think this movie, it's solid. It's a little. The Transformers franchise is very, very formulaic. The Autobots team with the humans to go get the MacGuffin they need to save the planet, and you know, not so the world doesn't get destroyed. That happens a lot. I think that's been the plot on almost all of them. Um, Outside of like the Bumblebee movie, like I literally think that's the plot to every single one of the movies, which is fine. But so it's just pretty standard. There were some really cool things in here. I thought that uh Optimus Prime is just so damn cool. Like legitimately, he's just like an absolute monster. He's just so cool and so cold, and he they just always do him right. He's just so cold with it, like legitimately. Like I was getting a little nervous that he wasn't gonna have like his like really cool moment like he always does in every single movie. But then at the end when he fights Scourge and he's like, "I'll show you the true power of a prime," and like slams him into the lava. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. That's Prime, baby. Bumblebee also, you can't mess up Bumblebee. Um, he's really really sick in this movie too. When he jumps out of the plane, come on, and like kind of bails everyone out. Incredible, incredible, so cool. I also liked the Maximals. Really only spent time with Optimus Primal and um, Air Razor. I'm pretty sure was what was the Hawk's name. Um, and we didn't really get to spend much time with Cheetor and Rhinotops or something like that. I I think that's the Rhino's name. They had like I don't think the Rhino talked. I think maybe like one line, and I think Cheetor had like three or four. So they looked really cool though. Like they're cool designs, but they're not like like you just don't get to spend any time with them. It was, and I think something this movie does really well for a Transform movie is handle the dynamic or like handle the humans. Because most of the time, like the humans in this movie, you really don't care about them. Like you care about Sam, but that's about it. That's the only person you like really really care about in these movies. But I think Noah and Elena, especially Noah, are really likable human protagonists. I really do think that they're likable. Noah's very noble, and Elena is useful and stuff like that. And so I think that and Elena's got a good heart and is just a good person. They're just two good people. Um, and so they're very likable human protagonists, very likable human characters in these movies. Um, which I think these movies don't always have. Not that that's like the main focus, anyways. That's not why you're going to see them, but it is nice that this movie does have nice, likable human characters. Um, I think a character that people are either gonna really like or not like is Mirage. Um, I liked him, but he provides almost all the humor and kind of like all the heart and soul in this movie. So if you dislike Mirage, you're probably not gonna like the movie that much, just because he has such a very prominent role. Um, and I don't think he's like the best heart and soul kind of type character. Every every film's got that character that I kind of want that to be, and I don't think Mirage is like the best example of that. And so I think he might fall flat for a lot of people. I liked him. I liked the dynamic. I think they definitely tried to replicate like like the Bumblebee and Sam type friendship. Maybe not doing it as well. Um, but I do think that Mirage was cool. Him being the Porsche was really, 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 really cool. Um, and so, I think that's someone that, you either might be your make or break character. Um, who I think is really, really, really good in this movie is the villain, Scourge. I think that's, yeah, Scourge. He was really freaking cool, like legitimately very, very, very cool. And very menacing. Like when he would take off the emblems and all that of the Autobots that he or of the other Transformers that he's killed. Um, and he was a fight, man. Like he was tough. Like he was no pushover. I would probably put him probably second on the Transformers villains list. Not that that's like a lot of competition, and I don't think that he'll. No, I don't think anyone will be able to top Megatron in this franchise. That's why Megatron is the villain, or some version of him is the villain in like three of these movies. um but he was really cool. He was so cool, and that's why I think it was so rewarding when Optimus Prime finally beats him at the end of the movie. And like a really great henchman. Sometimes like the trope, it's like, oh, the main villain is just like the henchman of the big bad guy that they're gonna fight later. um I think that as far as like that kind of archetype goes, I think Scourge was really, 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 really good. So I really liked him. Peter Dinklage did a great job as the voice actor, and so Scourge was really, really, really cool. The third act is really, really fun. It's just a big battle sequence. I wish the palette on it wasn't great. I definitely don't love that, but overall, it was a really, really cool battle with some really, really cool action scenes and fights and all that. Um, I think this movie's main problem is I've seen this movie before. There are some like added wrinkles and stuff, but I've seen this film before. I've seen this film 5 times in this franchise. Like, oh, team up with the humans, get get the new object of the film, save the world. Um, and we're gonna have a fake out death here, a fake out death there. Like it's just so formulaic. It's definitely a better version, one of the better versions of the formula that this franchise has. But man, is it just drawn out at this point? I mean, it is just like completely ran into the ground. Um, and so like, oh, Bumblebee dies, but then he comes back. Oh, Mirage dies, but not really, because now he's in the suit, and then Noah put him in the car, like put him in a new car. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you did that or how he did that. Um like they did not explain that at all. Literally did not explain it one freaking bit. I'm glad he's like back or whatever, but at the same time, I think that just because we know how formulaic these movies are, the emotional moments of the movie really don't hit. The only one that like made me really feel anything was whenever after uh Air Razor had like been completely taken over by Scourge, and then Primal had to kill her. That was moving. That was the only part of the movie that I felt like they were really trying to be emotional, and it actually worked. Which is fine. I'm not. That's not what I'm looking for in these movies, but it is something to point out whenever they almost every moment in this movie that tries to be emotional and tries to be moving does fall flat. Um, and I understand that's not what like I'm looking for. It's not what people are looking for when they go see a Transformer movie, but it is something to point out. I'm excited to kind of see where it goes forward. Um, because I think I'm going to assume there's going to be another one, um, and all that. And it's like going to be them and the Maximals against Unicron, which I think will be really, really cool. So I'm excited to see. I think the movie is solid, but it does enough to where I'm like, okay, like whenever the new one, I'm not like counting down until it comes out, but when the next one comes, I will probably go see it because I think it will probably be good and just be solid. Overall, the movie's just solid. Yeah. Like I said, Rise of the Beast is just another standard summer blockbuster. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, but definitely, that's what say entertaining. You can't go wrong with big robots fighting each other, but this formula has been done over and over again in this franchise, albeit better well done this time around thanks to better management of the humans in the film and a really cool villain. I'm just going to give it a 7. You know, it's solid. It's solid across the board. It's solid enough. I would suggest go seeing in theaters if you're interested. So thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Make sure you guys check out the link content above. And you guys have a great day.